A lot of people know Plato and Socrates and many other famous male philosophers from the past. But did you know there was women philosophers as well? Hello, my name is Ricky Anglin, and on my paper I'm doing a report about women in philosophy. And a lot of these women didn't get to have their voice too much heard because being a woman back then, you usually wasn't taken seriously. And some of the women I want to discuss, the first one is Aspasia. Aspasia was in Greece. She really embodied political views. What she was actually a high-end prostitute. And when I say high-end, she was well-educated, and she was reserved for high-ranking generals. And one of the generals she was actually with, they actually had a child together, Pericles, and Pericles Young. Pericles was a high-ranking general, and she would actually influence his speeches. Like he would pretty much go by what she said. She was the one actually making these speeches, but it was through him. And actually, there was some male philosophers talked about her, Plotique, I think I'm saying that right, and then Socrates. And it's actually mentioned that Socrates was talking about this and how she would create these speeches and run them by him. And a lot of the during this whole conversation that they are talking to each other, Plato, like they know who Aspasia is. Aspasia was well known. She was mainly famous because she was with the general, and they did have that kid together. But the one reason she was a famous, well-known woman. And a lot of the people in that group, when they were talking, it seems from the writings, they didn't believe what he was saying, but he actually quoted one of her speeches before that was actually given. And that was the one way that he proved what he was saying was true. And another woman was Hypatia of Alexandria. This book talks about it. Not much is known about her life. Her death was well documented. This is Hypatia of Alexandria. Her father was a well-known professor, and he actually kind of raised her almost like a son, because she also studied mathematics. She taught at Alexandria University. She was well respected. She was a pagan, and during that time, there was a lot of conflict in religions between Christians, pagans, and what actually happened to her in death. And she is not in my paper yet, but I am adding her because I'm still doing some more research on her. And but with the well-documented death, there was not much I could find about her mother. I don't know if there is anything. I'm still checking into that. But with her father was a professor, but in her death, she was actually killed by Christians because of her pagan beliefs, even though at the University of Alexandria she did teach pagan and Christians. But she was actually dragged into a temple where she was stripped of her clothes, beaten to death, and then set on fire. But she did die in a tragic way. But she was a philosopher. She left an impact on her community. And one thing I want to go back to Anastasia. One thing I found cool about that, it's this game called Assassin's Creed. Odyssey. And Assassin's Creed games are, they're loosely based on history. And when I say loosely, you can't really go color white on what they're saying. But there is an Assassin's Creed symbol. I actually have a tattoo of the Assassin's Creed symbol. And what that is like kind of their symbol for the game. But Anastasia is in the Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's a trilogy. There's a lot of Assassin's Creeds, but I thought it was so cool because you can interact, and it actually plays where she's talking to the general, giving the speech, and then she'll come back and then he would go give it. But it kind of shows just how much the influence. I love that they put that in the game, how much political knowledge she was good at, and they would put that in the game. So this is my paper. I'm still working on it. And if you ever get a chance, go check out some of these women philosophers because they were amazing, especially in a time when women didn't have much of a voice.